Hey friends, Tracy Bryant Stuckey here. I'm starting this series on unpacking component 2 questions for the MOC, Maintenance of Certification process for NBPTS. So if you are curious about what I think about those questions, then you'll want to follow along. And it'll be fun. It'll be a fun tour through the component 2, whether you're working through the process now or getting ready for it next year. Component 2 is where you're really going to showcase your teaching and learning. It's where you're going to videotape your teaching, and we're going to see the kids learning toward goals. So when we think about the questions for C2, they're going to be very different than the questions that you answered for C1. And so as I go through my very basic PowerPoint, I made it myself. My team is probably going to see it and say, why did you put that up there? But this is our secret until they see it. I put the first 3 questions on the same slide because when I think about these first 3 questions of the component 2 MOC process, I believe they really all go together in more of a descriptive voice. And all 3 of these questions combined really should make up about the first page of your component 2. Now, if while I'm discussing this, I do not explain it in depth enough for you, or you need more information, I really break this entire process down in a self-paced course called Renew Like a Pro, which is amazing. You'll get in and out of this. Some people do it in 8 weeks. Some people take 10, others take 12. But I break it down. I give you spreadsheets, templates to fill in, and then your writing is like voila. So don't stay on the struggle bus. I don't like to see people on the struggle bus. But for those of you who just say, what is Tracy's take on the questions? That's what I'm doing here in this video. It's my take on the questions, nobody else's. All right. Freedom of speech here, friends. All right. Question 1. How is your learning or professional growth as described in the PGE been applied in this lesson? So really your assessor is trying to make sure that your component 2 lesson that you're showcasing matches one of your PGEs over in component 1. So they're just really wanting to have you connect it for them. Which PGE was it and how does it connect? What did you learn and how did you grow? And then how are you implementing it here inside of this videotape lesson? Remember, this is your PGE that is directly related to content. So it's very straightforward, 2 to 3 sentences, not much at all. Question 2, for the featured lesson, what were your goals and how did they fit into the broader context of learning for your students? So you must know the broader context, which is the bigger idea, the bigger understanding that we didn't see in the video, because it's a 10-minute video that can be cut 2 times for 3 different parts if you want it to be for the same lesson. So what is the broader context? It could be for many the broader context of the entire unit because it's like working toward things in a unit. It could be the broader context of just the lesson as a whole. It just depends on your situation and what your PGE is. So I can't give you a definitive answer of what yours should be. Now, for the goals, these goals are coming from your state standards of learning. And you can have 1, you can have 5. You can do whatever you want with them. But please remember, goals are measurable. If you don't know what that means, go over to Bloom's taxonomy and look at the verbs. Goals have verbs that are measurable. We should see these goals in life, real time, in your video, you using them, the kids knowing them. The goals should be evident in the video segments that we see. So make sure that you recognize that these goals will also later on in C2 connect to the content standards for the National Board. Question 3, why is this instruction important for these students at this particular time? Again, it's straightforward. You're telling us why you think these kids need this right now, and please do not tell us that it was the next thing on your pacing guide or that it was what's mandated by your district because you use a scripted curriculum. No. Think about the students that you are teaching right now. Why is it important for those students? The way you taught it, these goals, important for these students right now. Connect to them. This is the way we know that you know your students in the KOS. Some of you call it in the renewal process. So this is, again, really straightforward. Probably one page. If more than one page, maybe a tiny bit over one page, okay? And that's kicking off C2 for us, giving the assessor the background knowledge that they need to know that everything that follows, which is all going to be analysis, analytical writing, and reflective writing, or analytical reflective combined, that's where your major score is coming from. That's where they're going to find the evidence of your teaching and the students' learning, which is one of your bullet points on your rubric. So this sets the stage. We're setting the stage with questions 1 through 3. And we're not going overboard with this because remember, they're pulling evidence from questions 4 through 8. That's where the meat is. And we will come back and talk about those in a later video. So I hope you enjoyed this. Remember, if you're on the struggle bus, if you're like, I still think you're speaking some kind of foreign language that I don't know, go over to tracybryantstuckey.com. Check out my resources, especially that self-paced course for Renewalka Pro, or my video on demand library, where I have hundreds of videos just answering things, sharing all my knowledge. It's way more than I have here out on YouTube. So those resources are there for you. Don't struggle. This should be fun. I love this process. I'll see you back for equity, fairness, and diversity later on. Bye now.